Today we are covering a topic that no one is covering because everyone is so stuck in the panic and the fear of the upcoming election in 2 weeks, which I've already called. Kamala Harris is very much likely, very favored to win by a landslide of taking at least all the swing states, plus maybe Florida, maybe Texas, and more. But today we will not cover that. We will cover what everyone is not covering, which is what happens in 2025 when Kamala Harris becomes the first female president of the United States of America. Lisa Gilbert, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. You're the earliest here. 10 seconds in. Welcome. If you had paid attention to the thumbnail, it says the era of female leadership. And this is a very exciting topic for all of you, regardless of your sex. It's going to be great. Jellyfish22, welcome to the stream. A lot of the people, a lot of the media right now are sunk in fear. They're sunk in panic and anxiety because they don't look forward to anything. They don't look forward to a Kamala Harris victory. They don't look forward to even a Donald Trump victory. But they are so stuck with the anxiety of knowing the outcome that we already know, by the way, that women are going to turn out and women will dominate. Dave Beiser, Aussie, good morning to you. But it wouldn't matter because what we are here to do today, Lisa, we're going to get rid of the anxiety. We're going to get rid of the fear, get rid of the panic, because we've got a bright future waiting for us. When Kamala Harris inevitably wins the presidency by a massive landslide, what's there to look forward to? Well, but first thing, before we talk about Kamala Harris, there was another person right next to our border who is the first woman president of her country. Can any of you guess? Can any of the women and ladies here guess? I'll give you 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Which country is it? Okay? It is Mexico. Claudia Sheinbaum Pardo. Thank you, Lisa. I think there's a little delay in the stream, which is causing the answer to be a bit slow. It is Claudia Sheinbaum Pardo, who just recently became the first woman president ever in the country of Mexico. And this is a good sign. When people tell me Latino men are voting away from a woman president because she's a woman, I look at Mexico, where most of the Hispanic people came from, and I say, what are the chances that the polls are lying? Again, to create panic, to create anxiety, to make women feel disempowered. And that is the goal of the media, which is why I'm not covering what they're covering. I'm not covering the election because we know when women turn out, when y'all ladies turn out, the election isn't even close. Kamala Harris will be the 47th president of the United States of America. As long as women turn out to vote, that's pretty much a guarantee in itself. But here's the thing. What a lot of people aren't talking about is what happens after Kamala Harris takes over. I bet the first thing she would do, other than many of the things, is that she and Claudia, the current president of Mexico, are going to talk about the border deal, are going to talk about the border. And that's the first thing they will do. And I think for historic reasons, there will be a dynamic for the first time ever between the United States president and the Mexico president that we have never seen before. And this is exciting future that's waiting for all of us, not just women. So before we get anxious and full of fear, look on the bright side. memories. I wish posters would include abortion and marijuana in the specific states that have it on ballot in 2024. Exactly. A lot of places like Arizona, for example, in the swing state, I don't think Nevada, but maybe in Florida, where there used to be a lot of buzz around abortion. Not used to, as in no longer any buzz, but the fact of a 6-week abortion ban. See, here's the thing about female leadership that we aren't talking about. Whilst there are a lot of women occupying very high positions that are against women's interest, like the Supreme Court judge that ruled in favor of the overturning of Roe v. Wade, something's very different about women and about how women want leaders to be. Women have a higher standard. And this is the thing. This is why I'm excited too. Women have a higher standard for other women than they have for men. Because they are willing to settle for a man for like Donald Trump, for example. But they're not willing to settle for a woman like Kamala Harris, which in some case, it may seem like a disadvantage. But I can tell you, over the long haul, as expectations rise, as expectations go up, women's ability and standards will go up. Deborah C., cooperation with Mexico makes geographical sense. Dealing with social issues, inequality, and crime, which is predatory towards young people who see no other way, this is a tremendous opportunity. You are so right, Deborah C. And here's what I would add to that. A lot of the people doing youth work are actually women. The problem is they're far too loud of a voice of men. Well, not me, because I'm out here trying to spread positivity and peace and harmony and hope and dreams. But there are people like, for example, Andrew Tate, who hogs the media and lead men down a very dark path. But that's the thing. You know why that happens, ladies? You know why all of a sudden you become public enemy number one? Again, I'll give you 5 seconds to answer that. It's a very simple question. It's a very simple question, but it's probably not what you think. What do you think? Why all out of a sudden that within the past 5 years or so that there's such a rise in misogyny, in open display of the hatred of women? Why is that? Neko, what if? Hello, good to be back. Welcome back. The answer is quite simple. And it's a good thing. And I see, we keep thinking of all these things as bad things. Now, of course, there are pretty bad portions to misogyny. But it's a sign of something better. And that is, for the first time in human history, men have recognized that women have the power to challenge their position in society. This is the news. Because otherwise, they would have no interest. Men have no interest to get together and take away the rights of ants. We aren't gathering out in the streets, stomping and crushing little insects. A lot of this misogyny, frankly, comes from gynophobia, the fear of women, and especially women who are in power. And that is why misogyny is on the rise. It's not on the rise as a lot of these people will claim that, women aren't doing good things and women are evil and all these. They will make up a lot of claims, but none of those will stand to scrutiny. If you look at some of the worst things ever done in human history, let's just talk about men. You look at some of the worst things that was ever done to men. The killing of people by the thousands, by the millions, families, homes taken away, torn apart, children literally being shredded, women being shredded, fathers losing their daughters, mothers losing their sons. How many of it are done by women? None of these claims about women being evil and all stands up to scrutiny. These misogynists, by the way, you have to be able to separate the misogynist from other men, such as myself and a lot of other men, who are frankly also afraid of these people because they are not only misogynistic, they are also racist. They are also highly. They're a lot of them are religious zealots, and most of them highly nationalistic. They pose a even greater danger to other men than they may seem to pose to women, because in human history, these are the people who will kill another man without batting an eye, and they are a threat. Let me tell you that they may try to paint women as the public enemy number one, but most men, we know the truth. We know who's the real enemy. We know who, when those people take over the governments and our institutions and the dominant morals of our society and the structures that we live for and live towards too, we know who's really going to do significant and irrevocable damage to human society for generations to come. With a bunch of people calling a woman evil that used to lead witch trials, exactly. And a lot of them they're open Nazis. You see, that's what I'm talking about. You look at the deaths in World War II. What was it? 67% are men. These Nazi people, these witch hunters, they say, you know what, on the word of mouth, they tell us that it's women who are the greatest danger, right? They try to consolidate men into this cult, this misogynist, but at the bottom of it, the correct word is gynophobia, the fear of women, right? At the base of it, they see women rising through the ranks too fast. They see women coming out too fast. Wasn't the ex-Finnish president a woman too? I think it was I forgot her name. I think she's Marion or something like that. I forgot. And then just a few years before her was the first female South Korean president, right? And I think before that there was the first Indian president. There were just so many. Jacob Steiniger, you're so correct. Thank you. A lot of these men who claim they're for men and they're fighting against women to protect men from these witches, which is what they're trying to paint women as. These are the people, historically, they're the most dangerous for men. You look at the death toll, you look at the demographic of death in World War II, right? And 70% are men. But who caused it? Clearly, it's not these feminists, as they will claim, that are out here hunting men. It is these racist, nationalistic, and fascist men who are out there hunting men they don't agree with. And in fact, Donald Trump recently said in a rally, or was it in town hall, that if necessary, that by whatever means he means necessary, he's willing to turn the military against these radical lefts, the enemies inside, which is exactly what Hitler said in his rallies back in Nazi Germany. You see, it's not women out here who's hunting men. It's these men who are out there hunting women, telling them, you know, we ought to be with them. But we're not stupid, okay? Now, there are a lot of stupid men out here, I agree, but the majority of us can see through that BS from a mile away. Steve Smith, women power, blue power, women power. You are right. And this is what we must make happen for Kamala Harris. And once again, like I say, these men are trying to trick the young and impressionable boys into believing that they are for their future. But as we have seen with Donald Trump and his promises to deport indiscriminately civilians, legal immigrants, now I can ask you, how many millions of men will be torn apart from their family, would perish in the gruesome and insane journey of deportation. If these manosphere and incel types are already pro-men, how come they never thought of these questions? But they will constantly tell why women can't get into power, why women are the real enemies. Look, if I was in the US and Donald Trump went DeSantis, who unilaterally, I believe, now you can fact check me on this, took back Chinese asset by force. And if I was there, maybe I'll be dying on the streets without any legal and judicial right of my own property, because these men are racist, these men are nationalistic, they are tribalistic. Their first target is always by majority men. It's never even women. They're just using women to stoke up fear amongst the younger men who are again impressionable and ignorant, and I don't blame them. Look, if I was their age, I might be pulled into these type of things too, because we have to understand the social media nowadays. The algorithm, it favors hatred, because hatred gets clicks. The incels don't usually vote though, too stuck on the couch or the screen. I agree. It's sad that more young men are for the right. I hope they can see sooner. The horrible right is with men. The right always target men first. They will use women as the bait. They will get enough men to topple the system of gender equality, of the equality of sexes. And the moment they do that, the first thing is they will go after left-wing men. And then they will go after the detractors, the moderate right-wing men within their coalition, and until they get to a point where they get a cult-like loyal following of the most extremes of the extreme. The Nazi Germans didn't just kill Jews. They killed other Germans. They jailed other Germans who weren't in line with their radical views. And most of them are men. Here's the thing. This is why my prediction of 2025, look, women must win. But women win not because women will save women. Of course, women will save women. But women are the only force right now who can save men. Men have a hard time right now trying to save men. I'm trying. Women right now have to save all of humanity. Women have to save women. Women have to save men, because right now, the male consciousness, the collective male consciousness is at an all-time low, and it continues to slip. It's sad that more young men are for the right. Yes, as a pansexual, I know they're coming for me next. They get what they want. Exactly what you said, Nako What If. You are so precise with what you say. Once they get what they want, they will dump you. These are the people out there. These are the people with the right. You see, I don't believe there ever such a person as the right wing. I only believe there are two types of persons. One, a left wing, and two, a Schrodinger left wing who call themselves the right wing. Because when you're with them, right? When you're with them, they act very left wing. You know, they praise, how, men are underprivileged. You know, how men are, we got social issues crushing men and all these things. But once they get what they want out of men, which is to topple women and give them absolute power, the first thing they do is to go exactly back on those promises and start hunting down those disobedient men. Rose Benson, thank you for telling like this. I will always tell it like this. I've lost subscribers before, but I'm not afraid. Look, I'm not afraid to tell the truth. In a positive way and in a fair and civil and engaging manner. I'm not here to argue. I'm not here to shame or to attack. I'm just here to present the truth. Once these men are done with using leftist rhetoric to pull men into right-wing factions, they'll immediately destroy their left-wing sort of little dream bubble and immediately start calling the non-pure, the non-loyals in their faction. And this is the horrendous fate that awaits men if women allow Donald Trump to be reelected. When women elect Kamala Harris, women are first and foremost saving men. And this is the message that needs to be heard. Ladies, share my live streams, share my videos, share my playback. Men needs to hear this message. A lot of men are simply not grateful for what women have done for us. And it's true. Echo with exactly with the Nazi people. Exactly. They went, you think they're out here for the Jews? They are. But to get to that point, they had to first take out the Germans, whom Adolf Hitler said was the enemy inside, which is exactly what Donald Trump is saying. Men aren't even seeing, look, men are so uneducated nowadays. I don't even mean like textbook education. I don't even mean certified institutionalized education. Men are not educated about our own history. And this is worrying. You see what happened to the Germans first? That allowed Adolf Hitler to get enough power to go after the Jews. Because Adolf Hitler suppressed German men who were in opposition first. And otherwise he could not. He could not have went on to the Jews because he wouldn't have control over the military. He wouldn't have control over the hearts of people and the resources and everything he need to go after other people. It always develops like this. When the Emperor Hirohito went to invade Manchuria, which was China at that time, he went after the Japanese men who were pro-peace. It's always the first step. You think after, putting these authoritarians, like you say, wild heart, power, control, insecurity breeds authoritarianism, you are so right. And here's the thing. When these authoritarians get into power, the first thing they do is not to take out women. Okay? Because at that point, women would have been toppled already. You know who they're going to go after next? The only class of people who still have the power, still has the firepower necessary to topple him, which is men. And they will do this with absolute cruelty. The type of cruelty we have not seen for a century, since World War II. And this is the thing. They don't realize this because whilst they see that it's women who will be hurting them, clearly women do not have the institutionalized power. Women don't control the military. Women don't control the economy. Women don't control the largest medias in the world or the largest banks. Clearly, it's not women who will be bringing a catastrophic, situation toward these men. Philip Soul, go blue, vote hard. Exactly. Vote Harris, blue. Look, ladies, the denigration of wokeism. But it's not about being woke, it's about being a integrated personality. Fascism is for disintegrated person. You are so right. Most fascists have a great deal of cognitive dissonance. And when they have that, they see, at one point, they think men are strong. But at the same time, they have gynophobia. So it's like the enemy is both strong and weak at the same time. They are torn within. And when they're torn within, they want to replicate this in the outside world by tearing the world apart. And a lot of times, you see, every conservative accusation turns out to be a confession because they think like it here. Therefore, to be consistent, to be cognitively consistent, they have to see it out there. And that's what a lot of them are. They're torn. They don't understand the war. They're lost. Waltz is the personality of a true integrated man. He's emotionally present, self-aware, and not aggressive. You are so right. Inadequacy breeds vengeance. Wild heart. I wish I can give you a like one of those confettis that pop up. I'll set that up in the next stream tomorrow. I'll get that thing set up. Thank you for the heart. Let me give you some heart too. You see, a lot of these men, especially the young ones, but not exclusive, They fear women's power. This is why they're going after y'all. You see, men aren't getting together to go after the ants. Or let's say some annoying insects. Let's say men aren't out here going after mosquitoes, causing millions of deaths by malaria. Men aren't getting together out here protesting and saying mosquitoes are the reason why the African economy is not developing. You see, we're not talking about malaria. We're not talking about dengue. We're not talking about cockroaches spreading disease. See, you know why that's the case? You know why that's the case? Because for however dangerous mosquitoes are, for however disease-ridden cockroaches are, they will never equal men in terms of power. And this is what men are afraid to see. A lot, not all, a lot, but not all. Very far from all. The toxic masculinity is about emotional insecurity. Denigration is their reflex response. You are absolutely right, Deborah. It's a lot of insecurity, and how they make up for it. You see, this is how they make up for it. They don't have no self-esteem, and they feel like the odd one out. Because if women have self-esteem, they feel isolated. So what they have to do, they have to denigrate the self-esteem and dignity of women. That's why a lot of these incel types, they are quote-unquote pro-life. They're anti-abortion. They're anti-women's autonomy. And they do this to stump the female dignity because they don't got any. And if everyone else has dignity except them, now now they feel isolated. Now they feel socially ostracized. And not only that, again, these incel types, they don't just target women. Okay? They target men way harder than women. They are out here saying, some of them say they want to exterminate people by race. Some of them are open Nazis. See, they want to take away the human dignity of other men to make up for the fact that they don't have any self-esteem. Deborah, you're so right. Religious people exactly need to a lot of them don't read their own Bible. Let's just put it that way. Control freakery is for the emotionally weak. They're emotionally weak. A lot of them are physically weak. They're mentally weak. And you know what's bad about it all? They're spiritually bankrupt. They're not financially bankrupt. They're spiritually bankrupt. Take a look. Thank you, Willie. Take a look, people. It's still angry old men making women's healthcare decisions. You women and a few men can put an end to this. Exactly. Willie, thank you for the super chat. Let me pull that up. Look, ladies, they are angry and they want to take it out on people. They want to take a few... Look, they know their life is coming to an end. They know in 1 or 2 decades they are gone from this world. And there are too many things in life that they felt like they could have achieved, that they couldn't, and they want to take revenge. And who best not to drag into hell than a few pretty ladies? And that's how they think. They don't want to die in shame alone. They want to shame others so others can... misery loves company, is what I'm saying. A lot of them aren't willing to go out. Again, Deborah C. Wildheart, it's cowardice. It's insecurity. They aren't fine with solitude. They can't beat solitude. They can't beat isolation. They can't beat the feeling of coming here by themselves, empty-handed, and leaving empty-handed. They have to drag y'all with him to hold you as the spirit that he will now has control over and live this world with. This is the truth. They are cowards. A lot of them are low achievers, and they just couldn't help it. If they could take men with them, they would. But because they see y'all as easy targets, they are going with you first. Give these people power, they would take everyone with them. See, these are the least sexist people. I can tell. This is a funny thing. This is the counterintuitive thing. Ladies, listen to this. No one in the media has ever told you this, left or right. The incels are the least sexist people on this planet. Take a few seconds to understand that statement. because you probably it probably doesn't make sense. The incels want destruction for everyone. They want everyone to be destroyed. You are on the chopping block first because you're the easy target. They ain't gonna stop. They're really about that equality. They want everyone to be equally destroyed. You are just first, because there's a sequence to this, right? They have to target, they have to make it small, they have to test the waters. They have to dip their toes into some waters to test their might. And it just happens to be y'all first. They'll come after all of us eventually. We must stand together for men, women. We are not going back. Never what if. They all fit the bill. All these dictators, one heart, they all fit the bill. The first thing they do, again, like incels, I can tell, incels are not sexist in the way you think. Because if you have been to incel circle and see how they speak of black men, they got the N-word pass in every chat room. You think they're misogynistic? You haven't really seen the deep end of how these people treat other men. Like I say, they're not sexist. They're not sexist in the sense that they only target women. They will target anyone. They know they're going to hell. They know they're forsaken. They're condemned. They've done too much evil, and they don't got the discipline to work on it, to actually repent through action and through contribution to humanity, because that's hard. That requires a tremendous amount of discipline. That requires a tremendous amount of knowledge, and which means the discipline to acquire those knowledge. So you know what? They want the easy thing. The easy things that they would target. Look, they say, see, here's the thing. Yeah, of course they'll target black men, but they'll target black men first. Once they're done with that, white men ain't escaping this fate. You see? They first go for women. And what happens? The rest of men are silent because we're not women. Then they go for the black men. But fear not, we're not black. So we keep silent. Then they go for the white liberals. Well, I happens to be a centrist, so I'm safe. After that, they go after the white scientists because they're too educated and they speak too much. But fret not, I'm a scientist. I'm not a scientist. But then what happens? Now they go after the working class because they need slaves to do their bidding. And I don't want to be a slave. But then when I look around, the scientists who control the technology are killed off. The black men, the white liberals who are here to join our resistance, wiped off one by one. And women, the largest population bloc, subjugated. And now it's just me against this machine of an institution rolling at me. And what can I do? And this is their plan. Deborah, see, I had experience of an incel as a housemate. Oh my God. He wouldn't accept I wasn't interested. Oh my God. That is a dangerous situation. Skyline, you're awesome for spreading the truth in your videos. I will always be here for the truth. Read The Rise and Fall of the Third Reich. It tells exactly what I'm saying. Exactly, Steve. This is history. Look, you could just take it repeats every time. It's always like this. Misogyny is created from gynophobia. And this is not the first time this has happened. When women gained a lot of power during the Renaissance period, before that and after that, and then after there were queens and things like that, people ain't having it. A lot of men ain't having it. Actually, not as much as you would think, but some. But then what the patriarchy did at that time was that they made use of this fear. They made use of this fear to get y'all to believe in the false narrative that the most dangerous people are women. And then what happens? You give all your power to these oligarchs, to these monarchs, these male monarchs, to these authoritarians, to these totalitarian regime holders, because you trust that they have the power to quell the female rebellion. And that's always how they frame it. They're framing it as the feminist rebellion. It's going to topple society and everything we know for. And we need conservatism that has traditional values to keep everything together. It's always the same rhetoric. Guys, you look into history, it's always the same thing. Good morning, Detail. Thank you for coming in, perfect blind guy. MC Archangel. But why male monarchs? You see, because a lot of young men, and this has been true for far too long in history, they only respect, or at least they respect much more, a man who's macho, a man who is big, and a man who is loud. And this is the appeal. This is the appeal of a person like Donald Trump. It's a Zoolander. It's a Zoolander joke. Well, it's a joke. I wish it's just a joke. Archangel, I wish it's just a joke. Hey, sometimes these films are not films, they're documentaries. Unfortunately. I'm a fan of Joseph Prince. I don't know much about that guy. But the thing I was gonna tell y'all is this is the same trick. They got a loud talking man. They got a power freak out here spreading fear about women. Thank you, Steve Smith. Read The Rise and Fall of the Third Reich. Look, that's their trick, is that they will instigate the fear of the evil woman, the female dragon coming to burn everything down, right? So they get y'all to be on their side and put women down. But once you put women down, they realize there's nothing beneath them. They're standing on thin ice. And all they have to do now is to go layer by layer from the bottom, one step up, one step up, one step up. And all the way up, until they get the most pure and the most loyal people. And everything else, everyone else will be a slave. At that point, there will be no such thing as the male slave or the female slave. You're all slaves now. You're all slaves of the Nazi regime. And under that scheme, ain't nobody get to tell anything else. Okay? Whether you're a man or a woman, if you're anti-Hitler openly in those times, what waits for you are death camps. There will be no distinction of the sexes. You will not be treated as the superior sex. Male supremacist? You will not. You'll be treated as... sometimes you are even worse than the women that you think will suffer a worse fate than you. And this is the thing. Ladies, when you give one vote for Kamala Harris, that's not just one vote for women. That's 2 votes because the other one goes to men. You have 2 votes. Your 1 vote goes 2 ways, ladies. When you vote for Kamala Harris, you think you are saving women, but who you actually save are men. And which is why all of you are heroes. Every one of you in the chat right now, you're all heroes. The other thing is an instability to laugh at themselves. Exactly. They can't. And again, they have to release these tension in the method of making fun of others, of laughing at others, of picking apart others. Because again, there's a dissonance, there's tension in them, and they need release. And who better to go after than women? They want to pick on y'all. But again, I'm telling you, it will not stop. If Kamala Harris, now of course, I said many, many times, she is going to win. She is going to win. But in the worst turn of events that she doesn't, the person that will suffer the most, thank you for the 100%, the person that will suffer the most are not going to be women. It's going to be men. Because Donald Trump has said that he would turn the American military against its own people, the enemies within, exactly like what Hitler did to the thousands, maybe millions of German men right after he took power who disagreed with his regime. They will go after men first. They will not go after women first because at that point they no longer see women as a threat. They have no will to combat y'all. Right? Of course, they'll take away your rights. Don't get me wrong. But the people they see as threats are going to be other men who might have the power or the might or the fighting spirit to do a one last resistance. They will go after men. The first thing they will do is to go after men. They'll go after the leftist men. They'll go after the media, the male anchors who are telling the truth. They might come after me. Here's the thing. They might come after me. And I know this. I know this for a fact. When they get rid of women, men have no support. And they will do anything to men they want. And this is what a lot of men don't understand. Women provide such a buffer, such a breathing room for us to throw away the rights of women, to throw away the allegiance of women, is to throw away our last piece of clothing and walk naked in a sandstorm. We'll be lacerated. Kasparov, Holy Mary, Mother of God. Exactly. Barbara, good morning. William G. Atheist number 1. I implore all of you to watch Simon Rosenberg. It always cheers me up. Thank you for the recommendation. Listen to this. Every man, now I was just talking to the ladies just now, but every man out here, there's 50 of y'all. I don't know how many of you are men. There'll be more of you watching this on playback. Listen to this. When Trump wins, he's not going to go after women. He's going to go after men first. And he's going to settle the left-wing men. He's going to settle black men. He's going to settle the Hispanic men, because these are the people who has the ability to arm a real resistance against his regime. And they will take you out. And I don't mean deportation. I mean physically, they might take you out. Don't feel like we live in a society where, this is the complacency. A lot of men are just complacent. They feel like their rights will never be taken away. Well, they see women's rights being taken away, then they go, well, but I'm not a woman. I will never have to face an abortion situation. And they feel like it's just a uniquely female issue. No. Because if they can take autonomy away from one person, they have the slippery slope to take it away from anyone. Think about it. If they can take it away from more than 50% of the population, the most fundamental of rights, who is to say they won't conscript you into the army to fight against other Americans? What makes you think that? If they get to reign, what makes you think they won't? And before people say this is fear, look into history. Look into the present. Who is spreading fear about the immigrants? Who is spreading fear about women? How, the feminists are here to take away everything. Who are the people who are spreading these fear? I can tell you, not Kamala Harris. A man said on TV yesterday that women are getting mouthy. Well, they want to silence you. Well, they will silence you if you let Donald Trump win. That's for sure. But again, they will silence you by taking away your ability to speak. But they will silence us men by freeing our heads from our shoulders. Listen to this. They will silence women by silencing your speech. They will silence us resistant men forever, physically and permanently. This is a danger. This is not a threat. This is a threat to women. But this is a lethality to men. And here's the thing. These people are cruel. They enjoy making fun of people. They enjoy mocking people. They want to attack. Hopefully there won't be a civil war. If you don't want a civil war, there's one option. It's called voting for Kamala Harris. Because if Donald Trump takes over, he's going to do some crazy stuff. He literally said he will turn the American military, if necessary, by his necessary standards, which is anything goes, against the American people, the radical left, as he says. That's his plan. He's going to make men kill other men. I do think... I'm not going to take a risk. Exactly. What if, Neko, what if? I'm not taking a risk. Every one of you who wants 2025 to be just another year in your life, you better go out and vote blue. Because this is your last chance. Exactly. Thank you, Deborah C. Look, young people are not dumb. There are a lot of loud mouths who are pulled into the incel echo chamber who they don't know what they're doing. Fine, they're lost. But a lot of them, look, like me, for example, I don't believe in that BS. I know if they take women, they're going to come for me. My head is going to be on the chopping block once they take out women. I know it. I just know it. Like, it's not difficult to deduce. The problem is with a lot of these older men who are uneducated for their whole life. They easily fall deeply into the echo chamber, and in a far worse way than young men, because a lot of young men, once they hit something like 25 years old, 26-year-old, they sort of just walk out the incel manosphere type bullcrap, because they start to realize, well, you know what? Actually, they're full of crap. Because young men have the future to walk out. The problem is with a lot of these older men. But here's the thing, even a lot of them are starting to realize Donald Trump and his fight against democracy is not something they can withstand. I can't pronounce your name, sorry, Vingeria. I already voted for Harris. So glad for early voting. Thank you so much. Every vote, you're saving a man's life, ladies. Ladies, you're saving a man. You don't even know who that person is. You have saved him from the alternative future where he may be forced by Donald Trump to kill other American men and die in combat doing so. Thank you, Vinjura. Good morning, Korean Kimi. Catching up. Thank you for tuning in. Look, ladies, I'm going to predict this. When Kamala Harris takes over, year 2025, it's going to be a splendid year. The amount of positivity, the amount of hope, the amount of energy coming in, it will be astounding. We would have never seen that type of energy since Obama's time. I'm a man. I'm also a retired first sergeant of Army combat intelligence, and there's thousands like me that will give those fascists one hell of a ride. A current serving captain discuss with me these issues. Dave, you are a hero. I respect you with every bone on my body. But here's the thing. I'm not going to let you die. You will live 2025 as your most prosperous year yet ever. We will not let great men like you die. I remember there's this quote. I forgot who said this. It was just frankly brilliant. And you know, sometimes I should just maybe put a little quote. You know, I will set these things up next stream, okay? Brave men shouldn't die in combat. You know why? Our people should come home to live another day and meet their families. We need to make those other bastards die for their evil regime while we live the good life. And we do this through vote, vote, and vote. Mom and I voted straight blue. Katrina Jones, thank you. Thank all of you. You are saving lives. It's what you're doing. You are saving lives. And whatever that happens in the U.S., it's going to spread all across the globe. And it's going to spread. First, it's going to touch down on Canada and Europe. And then it's going to make its way into the East. And no one wants that. We don't want that. Good and normal, sane man who just wants to make a living, raise children, have a good family. Look, a lot of these so-called conservatives, we have to ask one question. What are they conserving? Ladies and gentlemen, there's 55 of you right now. Tell me, what do conservatives conserve? Tell me, what do conservatives conserve? I have the answer for you. Are you all ready? Tell me something. Whatever's in your mind, tell me. Themselves, good. What else? What else? Warhart said themselves. What are they interested in conserving? Throughout history, the conservatives conserve their power structure. Vinjira, you are brilliant. Through what? And money, yes. Conserve their power structure. Through what? Through one thing. Patriarchy, plain theory. You are all so educated. I love y'all because you are so educated. You're so intelligent. Let me give you the precise through tradition and the bags of blood of men. You guys are amazing. Control the Bible. I'm going to summarize all of it through you. Okay? Thank you for all your contributions. Everything you said, all correct. Steve, Bob, JD. I almost said Steve Jobs. Steve, Bob, JD has sent my mail ballot today for Kamala and Tim. Thank you so much. Wild Heart say religion, power. Conservatives always conserve one thing throughout all of human history, and that is fear and suffering. They use fear and suffering to control people. It's always, no matter if it's through the Bible or through politics or through patriarchy, the might of the great man who will punish you if you cross a line. Conservatives conserve fear and suffering. They punish you, they make you suffer, they make you lose your rights and force you to obey them. They want slavery, they want to control you through suffering, so you don't dare. You don't dare to rebel. Conservatives, they always conserve. You see, they can conserve traditions such as loving thy neighbor. You see, a lot of conservatives, they say they conserve traditional values. Well, what about loving thy neighbor? They say they conserve values, they conserve Christian values. Well, loving thy neighbor, loving thy enemy is right there. See, they ain't controlling that because that is love. That is the antithesis to fear. They only conserve the values they like, and the values they like are things that they are of fear and suffering. Conservatives will conserve values as long as it's fear and suffering. And all these other values about love and empathy, forget about that. Okay? No. They will conserve that too if it's to make women suffer by blocking their abortion rights. By saying they love the fetus, right? So, it's about fear and suffering. This is what conservatives ultimately want to conserve. They say they want to conserve traditional masculinity, but what happens when they win? They immediately go after men. The men who will rise up to what they believe is right, they will demonize them. They will say they're on the wrong side of masculinity. Once they get what they want, then they're going to go out there with arms and they're going to try to hunt people down. What they used to believe was masculinity by standing up, by telling what one really thinks, now you better be quiet. Now you better keep your mouth shut. You see? They don't conserve, they will conserve coincidental values. They happen to resonate by title with the average society, but what they want, again, what they conserve is always fear and suffering. It makes me mad when people say conservatives care about life and they cut programs that have poor children. They cut programs that help children so that they can enact what? What are the two words I say to those children? Mental and physical torture, exactly. What are the two words? Why would they cut? Why would they cut funding to help poor children? What do they want to conserve? What are the two words I used? Chat, tell me. Why are they doing this? This will never help them. Fear, control, fear and suffering. Thank you. Planet theory. Thank you. Fear and suffering, counterintuitive. They are cutting poverty aid so that they can conserve fear and suffering. They want to keep the poor fearful, and they want to keep the poor suffering. Now they flip on the other side and say they are pro-life. Somehow now they are pro-life. Somehow they're pro-life when it comes to fetus. Why would they suddenly do that? Why would they suddenly do that? Ladies and gentlemen, why would they suddenly do that? Because of what are the two words? What do they want to do to women? To control them using what? Conserve what? Conserve what? Why are they doing that now? Why are they suddenly so much caring for the unborn, but they want to take away from the people who are already born? To control what? To preserve what? To conserve what? What are those two words? Thank you for the super chat. So much for pro-life. And thank you. Yes, fear and suffering. They want to control women through fear, because now you're worried. Now, from now on, you're going to be worried when the Republicans take office again. Will they repeal Roe v. Wade, even if Kamala Harris were to restore it? Now we're in fear. Now you're scared, right? And the suffering of having to miscarry and not get treatment. Now you're in fear. Now you're scared. Now you suffer, and you don't have the energy and positivity and the correct energetic frequency to do well in life. Barbara, I can't believe we're fighting this issue of abortion. I went through it years ago, and we are here. Look, again, I told you, Barbara, you're a hero, by the way. And the entire logic is illogical. Saving women's life, it's nothing about saving. That's the thing, Deborah. If they don't follow logic, Deborah, they don't fear and suffering. Corey and Kimmy, we are starting to get the point. The conservatives are here to conserve fear and suffering, and that's it. Thank you, Barbara. They want to do these like fetal talk about why fetus is unborn child, but when the child is born, suddenly they don't care. You see? Because first of all, when the child isn't born, the child isn't conscious. And when it's a fetus, it's not conscious. It doesn't have fear. It doesn't know what suffering is. So they're not concerned about what the fetus go through. But the mother is conscious. The mother has a sentience. The mother has an awareness. The mother has feelings, emotions, doubts, fears, and a life to live for. And she becomes the avenue of control. Through what? Through fear and suffering. And once the fetus is born, it gains consciousness, it gains sentience. Now that creature understands fear and suffering. And now what do? Repeal child health care acts. Repeal child education funds. So they can fear and they can suffer. This is their logic. Guys, I'm telling the truth. No one is telling this. Even the left tubers are not telling you this. The crux of it all. Fear and suffering is what the conservatives will conserve. They start with the mother. Okay, see, they start with the husband. They tell the husband, your wife, the woman, is out here to get you. So they control him into fear, and they make him work overtime and make him suffer, make him unable to pay for a house because they want to take away affordable housing, right? They want fear and suffering to control them. They start with the husband, which is why I say, if you vote for Donald Trump, men will always be the first one to suffer. Because it starts with you. It starts with men first. It starts with the husband. Then once they got the husband, now they go to the wife. They say, if you don't give birth, if you go through an abortion, that's murder, and we're gonna put you in jail. And now you have to go through either fear or suffering. You gotta pick one now. And now when the child is born, now that child is going to live in poverty. It's going to live in destitution. It's going to live in poor neighborhoods where education are not readily available. And I think I missed a few comments, Deborah. A lot of mothers and daughters could have died. Exactly. Some of them have died. Some of them have died. So it's an entire lineage. Conservatives do conserve. And they have been conserving this since the Roman times, since the Egyptian times, since all these times for the past, since the dawn of humanity. Conservatism was successful. We can't say it's not successful. It's successful in what it does. And it is to conserve the lineage of fear and suffering. First it's the husband, then it's the wife, then it's a child. And in conservative marriages, women are sold off and men are bound. And if a divorce, bad things happen to you. Bad things happen. Fear and suffering, it's always like this. It's their traditional technique. It's their forte. They conserve archaic ideology. They conserve the lowest of energetic frequencies in the human realm of experience. Hierarchy. Steve Smith. They conserve the hierarchy not because of stability. They conserve it because they want to enact what? Fear and suffering. That's what they want. So true. You're extremely wise. Thank you, Katrina Jones. Thank you. All of you here are wise because you immediately understand what I'm talking about here. When it comes to abortion, when it comes to immigration, why do you want to deport people? Why do you want to deport people? Fear and suffering. No more fear, no more suffering. How can we achieve that? There's 14 days for you to achieve that. And how can we achieve that? There's one person we can vote for. It's Kamala Harris. Do we now understand the gravity of our responsibility of our future generations? That one vote you have. Now, of course, pretty much all of you has already voted or planning to vote for Kamala Harris. But do you now understand the seriousness of the power you hold? And before you feel powerless, like the media is telling you, all these fear, all these baiting, all these anxiety-inducing nonsense to make you, again, to retrench you. Fear and suffering. Look, fear and suffering. This is what they do. Donovan Carter, vote blue. Let's go. Vote Harris. It's time. Choose hope over fear. This is exactly what we're on right now. It's going to be the era of female leadership. When Kamala Harris takes over, we are turning the page. We're turning the tides, okay? We're going to see a record number of women leaders in the next decade. And it will be not something that none of us has ever seen. It's a real revolution. It will be the first revolution of humankind that will be non-violent. Coffee on us. No fear, no suffering. Thank you, Corinne Kimi. When Kamala Harris takes over, this is my prediction for 2025. The era of female leadership is coming. It already started in Mexico. She got elected president. Claudia Sheinbaum, Claudia Sheinbaum Pardo is the president of Mexico, right beneath y'all. When Kamala Harris becomes a president, there's going to be a dynamic amongst female leaders that we have just not seen amongst men. It's going to be an exciting time. We're in for so much. There's no time to fear. There's time to act. We got 14 days. They got time to act. There's no time to fear. Because the future is bright. Kamala Harris is going to win. When women go out here and support women, we all win. Men are the first beneficiary of these votes because the alternative history, the alternative future is hell. Hooray for Madam President in Mexico. Exactly. Look, girl power, women power is through the roof. This is why a lot of men, they're getting together. See, they want to cut you down because now you're a threat. Years before, they never took you seriously. They never went after you. There was never a wave of misogyny like we have seen the past 5 years. You see? Now they're getting serious because now you're a real challenger. Now you could really have the power to take it. And they don't want that. They don't want that. They're willing to do whatever at their stake to grab that little bit of power they have. And they want to screw you over first. Angela Wyburn, by the way, I'm an American citizen, but I grew up in New Zealand. I'm always for people, wherever you are, when you're for hope, when you're for dreams, when you're for sanity and empathy and civilness. We are friends no matter where we're from. We are friends no matter if we are from China, New Zealand, India, France, Papua New Guinea. It don't matter. How many wars have been fought because of male ego? Oh my God. Barbara, that's too big of a question. Look, I can't possibly answer that even as a man myself. How many Albert Einsteins that could have revolutionized? We could literally be having flying cars right now. How many Albert Einstein level geniuses? How many Isaac Newtons? How many Nikola Teslas were killed in senseless warfare over the obsession of machismo of absolute control? Smearing. What do you think of Trump faking the McDonald's visit? I saw that and I was like, you know what? That is so uninteresting. I'm not even going to cover it. It's just so uninteresting. Seriously. Bearers of life are not warmongers. Exactly. I mean, they are. I mean, of course, there are women who are pro-war. We're men and women are different, but there are some things we're not different on. Okay, and there are a lot of horrible women, yes. But when it comes to history, where was it the last time where millions of women picked up spears, guns, and bombs to kill other millions of women over made-up boundaries? It never happened. I mean, yeah, it's funny though, Smear. It's stupid. Okay, like Tim Waltz said yesterday in a rally, it's pretty funny if this demented guy isn't running for presidency, and a lot of people he has are still supporting him, and this is what I'm bringing attention to. If the Roman Empire didn't collapse, or if knowledge was never oppressed, we would have colonized Mars and the Moon by now. We would have been out of the solar system by now. Think about how AI has, boomed in just the past 3 years. Think about what happens if one more Einstein was preserved. Looking good, bro. Thank you. This new setup, I put my whole day into it. Thank you, JP, for tuning in. Imagine we got just one more Einstein in history. And look at the amount of AI boom in the past 3 years. How much further on we have been if not for these warring, war-hungry, bloodthirsty people who want to take down the feminine, whether it be women or the more feminine men, right? Who is filled with animalistic, savages, machismo, and toxic masculinity. Look, I want to do away with that term because, first of all, it's too long, and two, it's too soft. Let's just call it savagery. What do you mean by toxic masculinity? That sounds like we're humanizing. These people want to watch the world burn. See, when you talk to a person like this, I've had conversations with them. Listen, I've had more conversations with them than maybe even all of you combined. I'm not even bragging, okay? You sit them down, you ask one of these incel guys, look, how is the ban on abortion going to help you, right? Because at the most basic level, let's say they're just selfish, okay? Let's say they're just completely selfish. They just want everything for themselves, okay? Let's talk self-interest. What about banning abortion helps you? What about banning abortion helps? First of all, women are going to... You complain about the sex strike. You're saying women are having a sex strike and men aren't getting enough sex, okay? Well, now that you ban abortion, do you think women are more likely to have sex with another man or less likely? Incels, answer that question. They would rather screw over women than to benefit. You see? Like I said, these are savages. They can't help themselves. JP, you're right. I think we should just call it savagery. Look, we are on the same page. Because if it's just toxic masculinity in the way that, it's toxic to others, but they want things for themselves, incels are the first group who will come out and say, no, we don't want to end abortion. We want to go out there and schlong any woman I want so then she can go get an abortion and I can just schlong her again. Like, you would think incels will be for that type of idea. You would think the most pro-choice people will be incels because there's something for them to gain. Right? You think that's the case. But no. Because like JP said, they can't help themselves. Like Neko What If agreed on, they're savages. They're out for blood. They don't care. They don't care if it benefits them. See, they're not people like us. We're rational, okay? We weigh morality with profit. Okay? We weigh the two. Is the amount I gain out of self-interest outweighing the moral principles? And we do this balancing act every day. And it's a painful process, I know. Sometimes we choose wrong, and that's fine. But note that this is the choice we have. Some people don't have to choose. They live the easy life. They claim they're suffering, but mentally, physically, they're suffering, right? But spiritually, they chose the easy path out. Because they gave up on this entire balancing act of choosing between morality and self-interest. Now, they don't got a balance because they don't have morality or self-interest. They're just out here being a savage, being animalistic. Sex analogy. What men want contrasts to what women want. You see, here's the thing. Wild heart. we have to understand these women, these men don't have wants in the way y'all ladies perceive it. You see, this is why I'm trying to give y'all a paradigm shift. This is so important. In the era of women's leadership, in the new era, in year 2025, I'm predicting we must have a paradigm shift. A lot of women are under the impression that these incels want something, like there's this word called want, right? And y'all ladies, because you're rational, and more importantly, you're sentimental, you're empathic. You think about, there's a struggle of wants. Nothing could be further from the truth, because a rational man will never become an incel. You see? Because he knows becoming an incel is worse for men. So they don't have what you call wants. They have animalistic desires. Or rather impulses. Can we call it what it is? Impulses. They have impulses, and they're going to satisfy those impulses, those misogynistic impulses, the racist impulses, the nationalistic, tribalistic impulses, the sort of violent type, the rudeness. They're not controlled by wants, Wild Heart and ladies watching this. They don't got no want. They have impulses. And that is dangerous. We must fight this. We must fight. Thank you for the heart, whoever gave me some hearts. Tell me about it. Tell me if I'm right or right. They don't got no wants. They don't got a list of demands. They pretend they do, but they don't. Because if they got that list, we could negotiate. But they don't negotiate. You see? They don't got no... Even terrorists got a list of demands. They got no demands. If today they log on to Facebook, they log on TikTok, they're feeling misogynistic, they're going to scroll through some Andrew Tate. Tomorrow they realize the amazingness of women, now they're simping. They ain't got no wants. Every day of their life, they're controlled by impulses. And in 2025, when Kamala Harris wins by a landslide, women will wake up to this fact. Fight hate with love. Fight fear with hope. Fight ignorance with knowledge. It's time we fight everything we have. We must. Thank you, Nakawat. That's a line of wisdom. That's real wisdom right here, Naka. What if? You see the thing? I'm giving y'all knowledge that you can use in 2025 when Kamala Harris, when the golden age of women's leadership starts, and you have the knowledge, what it takes to excel in life, and know what people want, know how they behave. When you run into an incel, they are very inconsistent. They're very inconsistent. Today they hate women, tomorrow they're simping. Because they're controlled by impulses. They're not controlled by wants. They don't have like sort of a goal that they're working towards too, and maybe they'll do immoral things to get there. But they don't even have that. You see? And that's the thing. Knowledge is what will save us. They are ignorant, but we can't afford to be ignorant just like them. We have to combat them with our better understanding of them than they have understanding of themselves. We must combat ignorance with knowledge. And that's what we must in year 2025. When Kamala Harris wins by a landslide, women will step up. And all of the things, listen, ladies and gentlemen, all of the things that I've said today, in the midst of the last 2 weeks of election where no one's talking about the future, everyone's having a mini panic attack over all these things. No one's talking about it. I'm talking about it, okay? Because we want foresight. We want knowledge. We want to be well prepared, okay? To know what's coming. After she wins, women are going to take over. They're going to take over, and the world will be radically different in a way that we cannot imagine how great the world will be when that happens. Estimation is 25% of military drawn to defection, leaving 75% of military constitutionally sound. Look, Dave Beiser, what I've made comments about military is this. We are here to defend. Now, I used to be in the military too. I used to be in the Singapore Armed Forces. Look, what we are here to do, what we are here to protect are those who cannot protect themselves. Hit me with the like. Tell me I said the right thing. What soldiers here are to do is to protect those who cannot protect themselves. Hit me with a like. Hit me with something. Tell me I'm right. We aren't here to protect the country. We aren't here to protect the government or the people. Who the hell are the people? What if the people are Nazis? Do we still protect Nazis? No. We don't. We're here to protect those who cannot protect themselves. That's what's up. That's the real military. If you're a real army boy, if you're a real man, that's what we're on about. And if she wins this year, I'll put up the victory music. Thank you, Colin Grossman, for tuning in every day. Equality for all will be the priority. Listen, I'm not going to give my life defending some imaginary boundaries. Okay, I'm going to give my life protecting people I know who can't. Who are disabled, who got children, who are starving, who got no direction in life, who has no collective they can tend to. I'm here to protect them. I ain't out here not protecting no Nazi government and Nazi people who vote for Nazi government. I ain't protecting none of them. Seriously, I'm not. No. The answer is no. Take no for an answer. I give my life to save those who will save lives. What's the point of dying if that makes more people die? Does that even make any sense? You see, that's the thing. And women will have this realization, you see. When more women... Yes, Dave Beiser, I know, I understand that. And again, I respect you so much. I wish more people can see what you wrote in our chat. You share this video, share this live stream, share the playback. Let people see. In the midst of panic and anxiety, there exists a space on the internet that is positivity and righteousness and hope. Let people see it. Let the people who are out here who may feel like they're alone in this motion for what's good and what's right, let them see there's a space for them. Let them see it. Fight with victory with the votes. Thank you. Dolly's Eagle, that's what we're going to do. Oh, and one of them voted for the vice president, 10 votes, baby. Thank you. On YouTube. Thank you, Colin Grossman. In the age of women's leadership, now, we're already starting to see a change. I came from a military family. We can't have a real conversation. They believe we can still have abortion till baby is born. Not understanding, but this is medical procedure for an emergency. But again, here's the thing. A lot of them, they have been overtaken by the machismo. They believe they own everything because they got power to do so. And a lot of these people, they have a sense of intrusion. No wonder they're intruding into women's bodies. We address countries and nations as her. You see the link here? Some people, they are intruders. Not all people are defenders. Easy to manipulate. Angela Wyburn, thank you. Not all of them are defenders. Some of us, most of us, I would dare say, are defenders. Some of them are intruders. And they will intrude into her land. And who is to say they will not intrude into her autonomy, as in your body? Respect, dignity, justice, honor, humanity, caring, sharing, love. All the values that we will embody as Kamala Harris brings out into a historic year of 2025. It's coming, ladies and gentlemen. Gregory Reed, record women and young people early voting means one thing. It means one thing. Kamala Harris is going to turn the page and we're not going back. That's what it means. And in the era of women's leadership, things are going to change. A lot of things will change. A lot of concepts, there will be a massive paradigm shift. I'm the first to call it out right here. I'm first amidst all the chaos that's happening. I'm here to call it out. 2025, joy is coming back. Thank you, Wild. There's a couple of my family members used to be in the army, plus my grandfather used to be in the army. We're headed on early vote in Florida. We can flip it. We can. Women, ladies, when you vote for Kamala Harris, you're not just saving yourself, you're saving men. We need you, ladies. And in year 2025, men will trust women. The tides will turn. In 2025, there will be a record high of men who will trust women over the felon who is still trying to run the office. When she wins, it's going to be the defeat of MAGA. And people, the light will come in. And disabled people, you're right. They're going to Cheryl Pennywell, not going back. People, the knowledge and the realization that a lot of these MAGA heads, they will start to realize when the positivity, when the hopes are flooding all into their life, they realize they were wrong. They realize they were in the rabbit hole. When the real truth that comes afloat, when Kamala Harris takes over, and when women take over, love, positivity, care, empathy, those are going to be the supreme values. Historically, once a leader is gone, a power vacuum happens. When Trump loses, the Republican Party will be licking their wounds. We're not going to let them recover. No. Not if they're not going to change their old ways. We're going to... 2028, Kamala Harris will be the 48th president. 49th, Tim Walz. 50, Tim Walz. 51st, 52nd, are going to be Josh Shapiro. What do you think the Republican Party will have there as the presidential nominee? Probably J.D. Vance. He's like the only, or Nikki Haley, but like, I don't think she's gonna work. Maybe Tulsi Gabbard, maybe Vivek Ramaswamy. I don't know. Maybe Liz Cheney, Mike Johnson. No, all of them are horrible candidates. All of them are just horrible. Or maybe RFK Jr. We don't know. They're just horrible. If they lose this, in which they will, 2028 is gonna go Democrats. I mean, none of them will stack up against Tim Walz. That just or Ron DeSantis. Oh my God, or Ted Cruz. Ron DeSantis could not even win a primary in his home state of Florida against Nikki Haley, who did a dent against Donald Trump. Think about that. Think about that. Again, you guys have to be ready. Ladies, gentlemen, we all have to be ready for year 2025. And by the way, from now till election night, till afterwards, the content on this channel is going to have a massive shift. Because we have to put what's behind us, and focus on the future. We're going to talk about women's empowerment. We're going to talk about, this is just starting. I'm only getting started. I will still cover the election night and everything else. I'll show y'all numbers, yes. But there's going to be a massive transition in my content because we must walk into the future. We must look at the future and say, this is what we want, and this is how we're going to get there. And this is what I'm going to do. I'll be the first. I'll be the first on YouTube to do this. I won't be the last because I'm going to start a wave. I'm going to start a chain effect that ripples out. And you will see a lot of YouTubers, I guarantee, 2025, you will see a lot of YouTubers just like me now who'll be online streaming for women's empowerment. I call it. I called it right here. 21st October 2024. In the year 2025, there will be an influx. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you all. There will be an influx of YouTubers just like me putting in all their effort to stream, to make content, to cheer women into their empowerment. I'm calling it. That will be year 2025. Ladies, gents, we've got quite a lot coming this year. But before that, like I always say, there are actions we need to do right now, today. And for those of you who have not voted yet, there's one thing you must do. You have 14 days to do it. And that is go to your nearest ballot box, ballot station, and vote. And if they don't offer that, some state that don't offer early voting by any means, make sure you plan your voting route, have a plan B, know who you're going with, go together. Go early on the day and get your vote in for a 47th President of the United States of America, Madam Kamala Harris. And with that, guys, we're opening a whole new age. The era of female leadership is coming and will be unstoppable, and there will be a paradigm shift in the global consciousness of humanity. And now I shall say, with that, Gregory Reed, Asian politics. One day, Gregory, one day, let's see. And for now, vote like your life depends on it. Vote and let Kamala Harris take the world for its best term. With that, guys, thank you all for tuning in, and may God bless America.